November officially marks 4 years since Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney took over as owners of Wrexham, and the experiment continues to exceed expectations. Wrexham are climbing up the Football League and pulling themselves out of debt, and they have hired your boy, Mr. Rebuild, JarradHD, to take this to the next level. I'm taking over, and today I am going to make Wrexham not only English Premier League champions, but I'm going to make them European champions. I feel like it's almost becoming a tradition at this point, but here is the Wrexham squad to start off FC 25 and to start off this rebuild. Paul Mullen on the bench, he's definitely going to be getting into the starting 11. I'm not going to be playing a 5 at the back formation. Today, Mr. Rebuild does not roll that way. The budget's still only at £2 million. We sit in EFL League One. Let's get to business and get Wrexham promoted to the championship. I do want to make a pretty significant clean out of some of the older players in the squad so that we can cash in on them and get younger guns into the side. So the first man out is Owen O'Connell heading to Birmingham City for £700,000 and William Boyle heading to Spain permanently. I am pumped about our first signing here though, lads. Tyreek George from Chelsea is coming over to Wales. His value already goes up a day after we sign him, which is a great sign. They know that Mr. Rebuild's getting him in charge. 64 overall left midfielder. I will be changing my formation. We have 0 left midfielders and right midfielders in the club, so that means next up we need a right mid. The clean out continues though. Left back Jacob Mendy and centre midfielder Andy Cannon are the 2 latest players to pack their bags. Anthony Ford heading to Stockport for £250,000, and we get the signature of our new right midfielder. This is a very Wrexham signing. They have a huge American audience, so it was only right that I made sure I signed a American wonder kid at some point of this video. And it's another American departing Borussia Dortmund. We are going to sign Campbell, the 18-year-old right midfielder, picking him up for 1.3 mil. This right here is our biggest player departure of the season though, just shy of £1 million for Elliot Lee. He is heading to Dusseldorf, and that now means I want to invest in a high quality centre midfielder of the future. And for me, that man is going to be Bossen Lawal, the Irish centre midfielder. Comes down to division, from Stoke, 1.4 mil. Overall, I'm really happy with the start to this opening window at Wrexham. Different question whether we're going to get promoted. Arguably, you would say from an overall perspective, the 3 signings I've made and the sales that I've made have brought us down overall wise, but long term, I think this is going to pay dividends for us. Okay, 1st of January, we are in the playoff hunt. We sit 11th right now with Wrexham in League One. We're on 30 points and the playoffs end at 37. So we're 7 points out of the picture right now. The concerning thing is there are a lot of teams breathing down our necks. I mean, we're probably just out of the relegation fight, but if we have a bad month, we could definitely get dragged down in there. And with all the business we did in the summer, plus having to renew about 3/4 of our squad's contracts, I don't think we're making any business happen this window. Sorry, fellas. I lied. Jack Marriott has been sold for £610,000. Mo Fall heads out on a short loan to Huracan. Thomas O'Connor is heading to Turkey. I have really lied when I said I wasn't doing any business. We have sold 2 players and I want to sell more. To be fair, I was planning on selling Dan Scarr and going for an upgraded centre back. But James McLean is rapidly decreasing. He's gone down 4 overall in only half a season. So I say we go right in now for a new starting left back. And that is exactly what we're going to do. 21-year-old Ben Christine is going to join us from Norwich City. 66 rated. We pay £1.3 million for him. This is so much better than I expected coming into the January window. No playoffs for us here in season number 1, but it's okay. We laid the foundations this year. It's still a pretty damn good year, and I'm hoping some of our young guys have absolutely crushed it so they can start get dynamic player potential working for them. But no question about it, next year, we need to be pushing for top of the table. Birmingham City right back up to the championship alongside Rotherham. Heading down to League 2, it's going to be Wigan, Bristol, Crawley, and Northampton. Seeing Wigan down that low is just so sad compared to what I witnessed Wigan Athletic as a child. Chelsea win the FA Cup. We went out to Bolton in the second round. Liverpool win the Carabao Cup. And we went out to my favourite club, Fulham, in the second round there. Birmingham City win the BSM Trophy. And Bolton, the side that eliminated us from the FA Cup, get promoted to the championship. It's nice to see Paul Mullen do incredible, but it's just frustrating because I'll probably look to move him on next year potentially because I want to get a young striker in who can soak up the dynamic player potential 30 goal contributions here for Super Paul Mullen. This is what I was talking about though. Tyreek George, 21 goal contributions, and Cole Campbell gets himself 19. That is a great start to life for those lads. Boston Lowell, 69 overall, and he gets himself 9 goal contributions as well. I'm going to be saying goodbye to a lot of these young guys. I've got Mark Howard and Stephen Fletcher who are retiring, but a lot of these young guys have terrible overalls, terrible potential, and I could go out tomorrow and get a significantly higher rated player to sit on the reserves. So I thank them for their help, but it is time to say goodbye as we end season 1. Coming out the gates here in season 2, I have signed us a new starting centre back. It was something I wanted to do in January. We held off and went after the left back instead, but now it felt like the right time, and we have picked up a player that I am pumped about. He is a Kiwi centre-back by the name of Tyler Bindon. We have picked him up here from Reading. 22 years of age, 70 overall. We paid £2.5 million for his services. First man leaving this year is Sam Dalby, heading to Northampton. George Evans has been sold. I didn't necessarily want to do this, but he put himself on the transfer list and refused to come off, so I've decided to cash in. I'll probably use this money to get a younger backup defensive midfielder. Josh Adam is heading to Turkey on a season-long loan. And Paul Mullen has been sold to Spain, £1.3 million. We've also sold Dan Scarter-Angers for £1.25 million. If you're an OG JarradHD subscriber, you might remember me saying don't get butthurt if I sell your favorite player back in the day. Well, that rule definitely applies right now. Paul Mullen, I've kept him in previous rebuilds with Wrexham, but he's aging, man. We needed to cash in on him. It was the best thing to do. And that has allowed us to go all out on the signing of a superstar young striker. I've been wanting to use this guy ever since I looked at the database of FC25 when the game first came out. Say hello to our new starting striker, a man that I anticipate is going to be a superstar for us. It is the Danish striker, Conrad Harder, and we have picked him up from Sporting for £3.4 million. We do desperately need some squad depth, so I'm going to sign the Welsh defensive midfielder Callum Jones from Hull City as a backer, and 2 free agents at the left midfield and right midfield backup role. Backup right midfielder, Englishman Shiloh Tracy, and backup left midfielder Rami Nazarene coming from the A-League. My goals for this season are so damn simple, and I'm hoping they are simple in execution. Goal number 1, get promoted to the championship. Goal number 2, have the likes of Harder, George, Campbell, Lowell, basically every guy I've signed have insanely strong seasons. It is quite funny, in the most Chelsea fashion ever, they sell a player to us for dirt cheap, and a year later want him back for basically double of what they paid. Not a chance, mate. Tyreek George is ours. We're in the mix, boys. We're sitting 3rd right now, 3 points away from Huddersfield. Equal on points with Peterborough, just 2 goals behind. We're in prime position, 6 points ahead of Plymouth Argyle in 4th. We need to get Wrexham to the championship. And something we also need to get is the 50+% of you watching right now that aren't subscribed to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content and you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, you may as well go ahead, scorpion kick that subscribe button down below. Appreciate all you watching. The Red Dragons are heading to the championship, and we're gonna pick up some silverware. Our first silverware as Wrexham manager comes as we have won League One. Huddersfield bottling it, 1 point away from automatic promotion for them. They're going to have to fight it out in the playoffs, but we are going up, baby. 1 league away from the Premier League. Relegation zone is going to see, it is MK Dons, Stevenage, Stockport, and Mansfield Town. They're going to be 2 leagues away from us now. Chelsea win the FA Cup. Some good progress. We made it to the 3rd round of the FA Cup this year. Man City win the Carabao. We went out in the 3rd round there to Southampton. Portsmouth won the BSM trophy. It would have been nice if we could have had a crack there, but we went out in the quarters. This is probably deserved. I would have felt pretty bad for Huddersfield if they missed out on the playoffs, but they go ahead and win it over Oxford, and they'll be joining us in the championship. So we achieved objective number 1. Can we achieve objective number 2? Interesting. Okay, Mo Fowl has gotten all of the game time over Conrad Harder. What has happened? What has happened there? Has he just gotten injured or something during the season? Conrad Harder got 13 goals in 16 games, which is an unbelievable goal to game ratio. But why was he not starting? Mo Fowl. We'll have to check that out at the start of next season, but good season for George, up to a 72. Decent season for Cole Campbell, up to a 71. Lowell gets himself 27 goal contributions, so I'm not going to say we achieved objective number 2, but we definitely had a decent year. 2 of our older players not joining us in the championship, they're retiring, are going to be Ollie Palmer and James McLean. Life in the championship begins with a player departure. It is going to be James Jones packing his bags, heading to Poland. But there are 2 positions in our starting 11 where I want to make major upgrades heading into the championship, and the first one may have just been unlocked as Luke Bolton, he's sold. I want a new right back, and I also want a new centre midfielder, Oliver Rathbone, heading to Norwich. And we got our new centre midfielder. The first signing of the championship era for Wrexham is for the Dutch centre midfielder Yvi Seychelles. Again, I apologize if I stuffed up his name. We get him from Feyenoord for 3 mil, and we've blown just about our entire budget to get ourselves our new right back. An Englishman joining the side. It is Brooke Norton Cuffey signing on from Genoa for £4 million. So I was at a little bit of a conundrum as what to do with the striker row. Mo Fowl, there might be something there. So I'm going to give him his opportunity to shine. Going to Sheffield United on a 2-year loan, I will be keeping a close eye on how he goes. That does now mean Konrad Harder is the only striker in our squad, so I'm going to sign this young Austrian guy, Leo Schneider, young Austrian striker, to come in and basically play backup to Konrad. So life in the championship begins, and I'm excited to see what it holds. We've got a team that, I don't know. I don't think we're going to be in the relegation conversation, but we're definitely going to have to punch above our weight if we want to be considered a team that gets promoted to the Premier League. Again, I'm just so invested in the results of our big name players, our players that need growth. I want big results from them. Let's see how life in the championship begins and get ourselves to the 1st of Jan. This is probably where we expected to be. I'm glad that we're not in the relegation battle, although we're not super clear. Birmingham's on 25, we're on 35, so we're only 10 points clear there, but we're only 4 points out of the playoffs, 5 points rather, Norwich on 40, so just like I feel like every season, we could really go either way in the second half. I'm hoping it's up. I don't think there's any need to do any massive business here in January. I'm just going to sign a backup defender, Kane Vidmar, the Australian defender, joining us from Western United. 62 rated, 22 years of age, a perfect backup. We have grabbed the final spot in the playoffs by 3 goals. I'll scroll down because my face is blocking it a little bit, but we finished 6th. Sunderland finished 7th, both on 71 points. The difference, we have 12 goals, they have 9. Heading down to League One is going to be Swansea City, Barnsley, and Huddersfield. And I didn't point it out, but Leicester and Leeds are going up. Arsenal win a North London derby on penalties to win the FA Cup. That would be absolute pandemonium if that happened. We got thumped by Man City in the 4th round. And Man City win the Carabao Cup. Those types of thumpings have me a little nervous if we do end up getting promoted to the Premier League. Because yeah, I mean, that's even further evidence. We got thumped by Villa in the 2nd round of the Carabao Cup. And well, I was going to say regardless, I want us to get promoted, but we have gone out in the promotion playoff semi-final 2-1 on aggregate to Sheffield United, and the Blades end up falling to Luton Town in the championship playoff final 4-1. This is why I wanted to send, look, this is perfect. Okay, so I wanted to send Fowl on loan because I wanted Harder to have a full season. He gets himself 31 goals, 4 assists, but I also wanted to send Fowl off on loan so he had an opportunity to prove himself. He gets himself 19 goals and 8 assists. Is there a world where Fowl comes back and I could start these 2 up top? Tyreek George is now 76 overall, 20 goal contributions. Lowell is 26 goal This is ridiculous, man. Campbell 75. We are in an awesome position. I can absolutely understand why we were in the promotion conversation, and I think next year it needs to be priority number 1. All right, fellas, it is the next morning. I had to have a good night's rest to figure out where I wanted to go next to help get Wrexham up to the Premier League. And a good night's rest has provided me clarity. We have come out swinging here in season number 4, and that is to sign a new, young, upgraded center defensive midfielder as our priority for the year. Signing the Congolese defensive midfielder Macau from Lille, £5.2 million. The free agents this year were insane. As you can see, I am going in for 6 players. 4 of them have accepted their contracts. Roman Benson, an Englishman, 18 years of age, 68 overall. Adam Pierre, even higher upgraded 18-year-old midfielder. Yere Bustos, a 16-year-old Spanish centre-back. Duda Koulibaly from the Ivory Coast, 17 years of age, 69 overall. And we're going to wait to see whether Isaac Butler comes to us or Norseland, and whether Lewis Thomas joins us as well. All of these guys I look to send out on loan, and next year, potentially get into the starting 11. But for now, let's accept these guys and bring them in. But there we go. Lewis Thomas has accepted, but Isaac Butler has turned his nose at us. 6'6" is insane, man. He was one of the guys I probably wanted the most, but he has gone to Norseland. Lewis Thomas, though, 5'10" Belgian, welcome to Wrexham. With the upgrade to the defensive midfield role, I am going to say goodbye, though, to George Dobson, our captain and defensive midfielder. Time to cash in for him as he heads to Portugal for just over 3 mil. Let the loan chaos begin here in season 4. Lewis Thomas heading to Everton on a 2-year loan. Yere Bustos heading to Norwich for 2 years. Adam Pierre heads to Burnley for just 1 season. Roman Benson to Sunderland. And finally, Koulibaly to Saint Etienne. As we take a look at our squad after the window, I think logically the next area I want to improve will be for the centre-back role. Cleworth, 25 years of age, 72 overall. It would make sense. I would love if we could do it internally via one of the lads we signed on a free, but it's really going to depend. If we get promoted to the Premier League this year, we're going to have to get a significant upgrade. This year could change the trajectory of this rebuild altogether. Okay, 1st of January, we sit 6th in the championship right now, hanging on to that final playoff spot. It's going to take a massive effort for us to get into all the automatic spots, 11 points behind Brentford. And we have a lot of teams breathing down our necks. A bad run of form could drop us basically down to mid-table. So we need a massive second half of the year with the Red Dragons. Cleworth and Cuisine both have gone up to a 73, which is a step in the right direction. I mean, the lads, they're growing, but they haven't got to a point where they could overtake him in the starting 11. And yeah, Benson and Pierre haven't either. So I'm just going to trust the process with what we have. No need to sell anybody. We only have about £1 million in the budget anyways. So yeah, the top teams absolutely crushed it. Wolverhampton with an insane season. They miss out automatic, but we are in the playoffs. We improved our standing on the final day of the season to move up to 4th. And it is a battle between some yo-yo clubs in Wolves, Norwich, and Sheffield United. Heading down to League One, though, it is going to be Peterborough, Rotherham, and Portsmouth. Chelsea win the FA Cup. A 3rd round humping for us at the hands of Villa. Chelsea also win the Carabao Cup. We have been humped in all the cups this year. That is not a good omen for the playoffs. But we are heading to Wembley. We take down Norwich 2-0 on aggregate. And it is no surprise that we're going to be versing Wolves, the side that were unlucky not to get automatically promoted. This is going to be a huge challenge. Are we going to get Wrexham to the Premier League? Yes, we are. Wrexham are going to win the championship playoff final. 3-2. That is huge. We're heading to the big show. Come on, lads. Wrexham to the Prem. My God, though, we are going to have some work to do if we want to survive relegation. Lowell, out of nowhere, has had an unbelievable season. 42 goal contributions here for our midfielder. He's gone up +5, I believe it is this year, from a 77 to an 82. He is ready for the Premier League. Harder enters the 80s. Campbell with a great year there. He goes up from a 75 to a 79. Thal made it to the playoffs. I'm probably going to use him as a backup next year, though, because Harder has just gone to a different level. How did the lads go that are out on loan? That is most important. Thomas to a 72. Cleworth goes up to a 74, staying at the club. Koulibaly to a 71. I'm glad all of these guys still have another year on loan because they are not ready for the senior team. Benson to a 70. Pierre up to a 73, which is quite encouraging. So we'll see how these guys go when they get back next, or in season number 6 it will be. Absolutely buzzing. Premier League bound with Wrexham. Let's try survive this relegation dogfight. The young fellas are not ready. And if we're going to survive relegation here, we need an iron strong backline. I'm signing a guy who is ready to help us survive right now. Could be joining a mid-table Premier League club, but is making the big move across from the Bundesliga. I don't know if I've ever used this guy in a rebuild before. He might be the first Greek player to ever play for Wrexham in history. Say hello to the first signing of the Premier League era, Konstantinos Koulourakis, signing here from Wolfsburg. 81 rated centre-back, huge. Not only am I bringing players in this window, I want to sell some players that aren't really going to get much more growth in their careers. They don't serve our Premier League purposes. Sebastian Revan heading permanently to San Jose. Adam Pierre gets another loan move to Udinese. And with less than a year remaining on his contract, Shiloh Tracy is departing. And our second signing of the Premier League era at Wrexham is once again focusing on the defense. We signed a centre back earlier. Now we are going to pick ourselves up a left back. Our second American in the squad. Say hello to Caleb Wiley. With Shiloh Tracy being sold though, we needed to bring in a backup right midfielder. I wanted to bring in somebody that is serviceable if anything happens to Campbell. So we're going to sign Andre Brooks from Sheffield United, £4 million, 74 overall. I have absolutely zero fancy goals this season. Just don't get relegated. Do not get relegated and we can build from there. What the oh my God. That is my first reaction. I went straight to the Office tab. I was watching the results come through whilst I was doing some other stuff on my computer, and I did not see results that were indicating we were going to be in the top 4. But we are in the top 4. We are in the top 4 with Wrexham. What are we close to the relegation battle? We are 20 points clear of the relegation battle. Okay, I didn't see things going this way, but I'm not going to complain. I mean, Lawal's got up to an 84, Harder up to an 82. The next logical thing would be either to upgrade centre mid or centre back, but I've only got £6 million in the budget, and I don't necessarily want to fix something that isn't broken. So once again, when there's money in the bank and no starting 11 needs necessary, I'm going to go get some backup support. The Irishman Tyler Goodrum joining us from Oxford United. Backup left midfielder, 74 overall, I think 25 years of age. Oh, we have shat the bed and we've come back to reality here in the second half of the season, lads. Dropping down to 11th place in the Premier League. I didn't necessarily think we were going to hold on to a top 4 spot, but if we fell down into like a Europa League or a Conference League spot, that would have been brilliant. Instead, we come down mid-table. But you know what? I can't kick rocks too much. We came into the season saying no fancy stuff, just survive relegation. We have done that comfortably, and when we zoom out, that is a huge win. Heading up the top though, the Premier League champions are Chelsea on 75 points. We were only 11 points out of the top 4. Relegated though, Burnley, Ipswich, Fulham. West Ham take down Crystal Palace to win the FA Cup. I want us to start going a little more serious in the cups now. But clearly the lads didn't get that memo. We lost to the champions West Ham in the 3rd round. Man City, damn, that is a tough year for Crystal Palace. And we went out in the 2nd round there. Champions League this year goes to Borussia Dortmund. Inter Milan take down Tottenham to win the Europa League. And Lille take down Liverpool to win the Conference League. Conrad Harder shows he has the right stuff to do it in the Premier League. 25 goals here, 2 assists. Campbell gets himself 27 goal contributions. He was kind of in a weird spot a couple years ago, but now Cole Campbell is one of the best players in our squad. And Boston Lawal, 85 overall. I absolutely love this man. George up to an 82. Well, you're in a great position. Thomas goes up to a 73. All these guys returning next season. Koulibaly up to a 72. Not going to lie, I'm probably going to look to send them all out on loan again. Benson to a 71. Adam Pierre on his first year in Italy up to a 74. Going to be letting the contract of Callum Burton expire though, fellas. So starting next year, I'm going to have to look for a backup goalkeeper. I've got a pep in my step and I want us pushing for Europe, especially how we started last season. The budget we have, we can't make any massive signings unless we sell somebody or we qualify for Europe. So that's the #1 goal this year. Starting off though with a loan move. It's not going to be the last, but Roman Benson heading to Viborg for 2 years. Jordan Davies leaves permanently, and Lewis Thomas 2 years in the Netherlands for him. The only position I want to work on in this window in the starting 11 is the centre midfield role, and we have done just that. Say hello to our new starting centre midfielder, Chris Rigg. 22 years of age, 80 overall. We bring him back to English football from Stade Rennais. Jere Bustos also heading to the Netherlands for 2 years. And I am going to say goodbye to the Australian left midfielder, Rami Najarine, heading to Poland. As our backup goalkeeper though, we have signed Bailey Peacock Farrell from Birmingham, £1.8 million. I wanted somebody that was going to be ready to go if we had an injury, who was experienced and who we could get on a cheap. And I think Peacock Farrell hits that. 74 rated, 32 years of age. We could get a few good years out of him. Back to the loan business though, Koulibaly heading to Southampton for the year. I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't even realize this guy was in our squad. He did nothing the entire video, but Josh Adam has been sold. I would love if we could just go absolutely insane with our signings, replace 5 players in a year, get our squad up to the 85 marker. but it's just not realistic with the budget we have right now. Around the 30 million mark, which is nothing to turn your nose up at, but when you're spending the majority of it on one player who's 80 rated, it's tough to do much else. And for that reason, we're setting our goal as some sort of European football. I don't expect it to be the Champions League, but Europa League, Conference League, one of those. We need it with Wrexham. I don't want another season finishing mid-table. I've been training Tyreek George on this wide midfielder for so long. Look at his pace stats. 96 sprint speed, 98 acceleration. We just need to hoof it down the wing to him and let the man run. Pretty similar spot to last year, outside of the top 4 right now, but the 1st of January, we sit 6th with Wrexham. Just like every year, it should be an expectation that there are a lot of teams breathing down our necks. We have not even come close to securing some sort of European football for next year. I'm going to go pretty hard in the paint right now, sell off some reserve players to see if we can make a massive addition here in January. We need that little push to get us European football. So we're going to say goodbye to Ben Christine. He wanted to leave anyways. We're selling him for 6.2 mil to Bruges. Our former starting centre midfielder is gone. Zayshiel heading to Southampton for £11.5 million. And because of this, I'm actually going to recall Adam Pierre from his loan move at Udinese. And hopefully the last little push to get the budget, Max Clayworth heading to Feyenoord for £4.5 mil. And we get our man, we get our upgrade. I've spent basically every cent we had in our budget. So I'm glad we sold Clayworth, but it is Kusanov joining us from Tottenham, £24.4 million, 82 rated. I'm pumped with this one. 7th place in the Premier League. We are playing European football next year. I believe it's going to be Conference League, but if it's Europa League, that would also be incredible. We edge out Leicester by 1 point there. United down in 12th, Villa down in 13th, West Ham all the way down, but it's Forest, Wolves and Hull City going down. Top of the table in the Premier League. Brighton into the top 4. Man City win the league. Southampton beat Brighton to win the FA Cup. How did we not go on a run this year? My God. We went out to Newcastle in the 3rd round. Man United win the Carabao Cup, taking down Crystal Palace. We lost to Crystal Palace on penalties in the quarterfinals. Champions League goes to Man City. Europa League to Lille. They're working their way up, so I'm expecting them to win the Champions League next year. And Roma win the Conference League. Conrad Harder officially hits 85 overall. That is brilliant to see. 21 goals, 2 assists. A good first year here for Chris Rigg as well. Lowell's 86 rated as well. Campbell at an 84, just 1+1 growth for him. Tyreek George to an 84 as well. Caleb Wiley staying at an 81, which is concerning. Norton Coffey up to an 84. Our young centre backs getting some good growth this year. Pierre obviously a 75, and then Benson up to a 73. It really does feel like we're entering a new era with Wrexham as we enter season number 7. We've been sold the dream. We have been sold the dream. So looking back on it, I believe the cups were won by somebody outside of European qualifications. So since we finished 7th, we are not in European football, I believe. Normally, I know that I'm in European football due to the Continental Success one, but it's not happening. So I'm about to go nuclear this season. I don't care about Europa League or Conference League anymore. I want Wrexham to be playing Champions League football in Season 8. First thing I'm going to do is sign this young English left back, Thomas Blake. He's rejected PSV to join us here at Wrexham. That's because we don't have a backup left back, so Thomas Blake will be joining us as a sporadic player. But the whole reason I want Blake in is so I can sell Caleb Wiley, which is exactly what we were able to do right now. Tyler Binden is gone to Hellas Verona for £25.5 million. And on the very same day, Caleb Wiley heading to Villa Park, 34 mil. Our budget to begin with was absolutely pathetic, but that has given us about £70 million to go buy ourselves an absolute humper at left back. And a humper we have signed. Come on, lads. 85 rated Lewis Hall. He's been out at Atalanta for the past few years, but it is time for him to come back to English football. Be the cornerstone of a club that only has ambitions of winning trophies galore over the next years. So we sign him here for £46.7 million. Still got a lot of budget left. But what I want to do with that remaining budget, I'm still not so certain. A lot of players are going to have to start the first half of this season on the strongest foot possible. I'm so mad that we didn't get European football, man. We could definitely win the Europa League or the Conference League with this side. Such a balanced team. First half of the season, let's see what we got in store. I'm hoping top of the Premier League table. All right, we are in the mix. 2 points separate us, currently in 4th, and first place Man City. This is a good position. This is a dogfight for a Premier League title and a top 4 spot. And I've decided we're going to make an upgrade to the defensive midfield role. I want to bring someone in who can be there when we win a Champions League title. We've turned a really tidy profit on Macau, but I have decided to sell him for Manchester United way above what he's worth. That's going to leave us about 66 million pounds to spend on a defensive midfielder. I want someone that's 85 rated or higher. And that is exactly what we do as we pick up Archie Gray. Archie Gray. Ole, ole, ole. Archie Gray, ole. Archie Gray, ole, ole. The 85 rated 24-year-old joins us from Bayer Leverkusen. Wrexham are going to the Champions League in Season 8. Come on now. Man City did pull away, which you kind of expect. Fair play to them. But we comfortably made the top 4. 13 points clear of Chelsea. Again, it's a shame we didn't have European football this year because I think we would have won a major European trophy. But we get the opportunity to win the biggest of them all next year. Palace continue to hold on and do well here. Liverpool and Man United mid-table. Going down, we got Fulham, Burnley, Bournemouth. Newcastle win the FA Cup. We are never going to do anything in these cups, are we? Jeez, we went out in the 3rd round again this year. Man United do win the Carabao Cup. Somehow they get themselves European football. I thought we genuinely could have had a crack this year after going to the quarterfinals last year, but we go out to Palace on penalties for the 2nd straight year. Bayern Munich win the Champions League, Tottenham win the Europa League, and Atalanta, the club we signed Lewis Hall from, win the Conference League. Oh my god, what happened to Harder? What happened this year? We got our top goal scorer. How do we finish 2nd in the Premier League and our top goal scorer only has 12 goals? I guess we were just spreading the wealth all throughout, but that has caught me off guard massively. To be fair though, everybody's scoring. George only 2 goals, but we spread it around a lot. Nobody leaving the club on a free this year though. All these guys will be here as we move into Season 8, Champions League bound, and I'm hoping our budget matches it. Life in the Champions League begins, and so does the clean out. Ryan Barnett heading to Turkey permanently. Oh my, look at the offer we have just received for Cole Campbell. I'm not selling him, but oh, that is ridiculous. 165 million. And we could get up to 190. If a team gets close to that 200 barrier, I'll be forced to listen. Callum Jones is heading to Switzerland, and after accepting 1 million offers for him, I thought this wasn't going to go through, but we have sold Lewis Brunt here to Leuven in the Belgian league. But we have officially made our biggest signing of the video. It is at the centre-back role. It is for an undeniable world-class centre-back, one of the best in the world at the moment. He wants to help Wrexham win a Champions League title. It is the Italian Giorgio Scalvini joining us from Barcelona. He's got the red, white, and green of the Italian flag, and now the red, white, and green of Wrexham. Archie Gray is absolutely my guy at the defensive midfielder role, but I'm bringing in Alfie Chang as a backup option. We keep it simple. We get the upgrade we need. This team is a work of art. This team is legitimately a work of art, and I'm feeling optimistic about our chances of winning a Champions League title in our first attempt. Starting 11 is insane. The bench is slowly coming stronger. Obviously, we need to probably get a few more guys in the 80s there, but things are looking good right now at Wrexham. How are things looking though with our Champions League draw? Lyon in September, as well as Rosenborg. October, we've got AEK Athens. November, AZ Alkmaar. This is so far really manageable. Then we have Wolfsburg. Okay. December, it's our toughest task with Inter Milan, and we also in January have PSG and Barcelona. All right, we're going to have to front load this. Our last 3 games are Inter Milan, into PSG, into Barcelona. So it is going to be paramount we start the league phase strong. 1st of January, we are in the same spot as we were last year, sitting 4th in the Premier League. To be fair, I want us to win a Premier League title, but the paramount goal is to get to the Champions League every single year. Oh my God. We finished 2nd in the Champions League league phases, not a single loss. That means we didn't lose to Barcelona, PSG, or Inter Milan. I'm feeling really, really confident now. We get to skip past the playoffs and into the round of 16 where we are going to be facing Roma. And looking at the teams remaining, Roma looks like a pretty decent draw. All right, first leg away in Rome. The first ever Champions League knockout round game for Wrexham in club history. Let's lay the foundations, get the ball rolling. It is a 2-2 draw. Charles de Ketelaere bags himself a brace for Roma, including a last-minute equaliser to take back to the racecourse ground. Archie Gray has been suspended though for the second leg. That is not ideal. I'm feeling happy that we signed a defensive midfielder now. Chang is going to come in for this do or die matchup. Come on, Wrexham. Look how good this team is. We cannot go out in the round of 16 after going, oh my God. We go the entire league phase without a loss. And now Charles de Ketelaere gets himself a straight red card, but scores the winner. Oh my God, that is an absolute choke job. We're going to go out in the round of 16 to Roma. Are you taking the piss? All right, we've done it. We've made it to the Champions League again. Second place for the second straight year. But after the way we started the season, I was a little worried we were going to fall out of the top 4. At least the one positive of getting eliminated when we did from the Champions League was we were able to focus on the Prem. That being said, I'm still pissed off about going out in the round of 16. Liverpool, Man United, these teams are crapping it, mate. Palace went down. Oh, Palace went down after being pretty damn good all video long. We win the FA Cup. Come on. We have been serial underperformers in the FA Cup, but we're going to take down Tottenham and we win our biggest trophy to date. FA Cup champions with Wrexham. We do not go back and win the Carabao Cup though. Liverpool win that. We go out in the round of 16 to Man City. PSG ended up winning the Champions League. Newcastle United win the Europa. And Manchester United, oh my God, these slithery little rats continue to get themselves European football. I'm glad Conrad Harder stepped up though. I was a little worried after last year. 34 goals for our Danish striker. Lowell gets himself up to a 90 overall. 36 goal contributions. Rig with a great year. I'm really happy with how things are going, but we're going to have to make massive moves next year because I'm genuinely pissed about the Champions League performance. I didn't want to sell Tyreek George. I didn't, but when you see how much money we have just been paid for him, you will understand why I've accepted this offer coming into season number 9. Liverpool Football Club have paid us £240 million for Tyreek George. £250 million, and that only gets us a C. Are you kidding me? There is no way we were going to get 284. The chief executive said the max we could negotiate for was 240. Regardless, that is more money than I know what to do with. I think I'm going to go out now and get literally one of the top 5 players in the world. Oh my God. I had to do it. I've never used him in a career mode before. I had to do it. It is very rare in a rebuild. I'm going to have the money at hand to sign Lamine Yamal. I have to do it right now. He is only 25 years of age at this point of the save. 94 overall. 94. This is prime Messi type of standards. I'm bringing Lamine Yamal to Wrexham, giving him the number 9 jersey. He is that guy. Our club record transfer. This might be the most I spend on a signing in the entirety of FC 25. So I'm hoping he can deliver us a Champions League title. Lamine Yamal signing from Barcelona for 214 mil. Actually insane that we signed Yamal and from selling Tyreek George, we keep a £35 million profit. That is craziness. And with the remaining budget we do have, I want to go out there and beef up our bench. Backup goalkeeper coming in, Diego Calais from Monaco, £18 million, 32 years of age. Sorry, 28 years of age, 82 overall. Dude, I'm looking through this Crystal Palace side. I want to feed on the scrap of their squad. I don't know how they got relegated with this team. This team is way too good to be playing in the championship. Unfortunately though, with our current budget and needs, it didn't really make sense for us to go in for any of the players on their books. Instead, I've gone and signed ourselves a quality backup striker, and that is Francesco Pio Esposito from Brighton, the Italian, joining us here. Oh, this is it's a work of art, lads. I swear to God, if I put all this money and all this time into this squad and we have another round of 16 exit, I might just cry. I'm also so surprised that Lowell is 91 rated. He really exceeded expectations into the prime of his career right now. Excited for the year ahead. Ooh, Kusanov's had a great... Okay, yeah, I'm replacing him. Kularakis to the bench. Kusanov back into the starting 11 out of nowhere. Let's see if we have our Champions League phase. Let's see if it's front-loaded again. So we've got Torino in September, along with Lech Poznan, into Hoffenheim in October. November, we have Feyenoord and Leverkusen. It's starting to get a little harder as we go on. December, it's AEK Athens. And we finish it off in January with RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. We're versing basically all of the German teams in the Champions League right now. But I would say that this is a lot better of a league phase draw than we had last year. So if we came second last year, I'm expecting top. Also, I changed the formation to have wingers. So I changed the role of Cole Campbell to become a right winger and Lamine Yamal to become a left winger. Campbell goes up to a 90 after me doing that. And by the time we get to the end of the Champions League group phases, he's going to be 91. Ridiculous. But on the 1st of January, for the first time in this rebuild, we sit top of the Premier League with Wrexham. And I am intent on staying there. 6 points clear. Our destiny is well and truly in our hands. Second in the Champions League for the second straight year. Oh, Roma right on our tail. At least that means we won't be versing Roma in the round of 16, but we get to avoid the playoffs again. So we move through. Who are we facing? We are facing AS Monaco. Again, I'm not too upset about that. Braga, probably the only team, maybe Stade Rennais, probably the only teams I would have wanted to face instead. I'm glad we signed their goalkeeper. But all right, here we go. This is where we shat the bed last year. We cannot afford to do that this year. This team is crazy. Majority of our team is in the 90s. We've got more players in the 90s than we don't. Yamal up to a 95, Campbell up to a 92, traveling to Monaco and coming away. It's only a 1-goal lead, but it is a lead nonetheless. Rig gives us a late winner. But now we need to finish the job. Back at the race ground. Here we go. This is where we fell down last year. Can we get ourselves up through to the quarters? We do, Lamine Yamal. This is so much closer than I hoped. But Lamine Yamal, our big money signing, is going to get the winner. Forces us from avoiding extra time. I'm almost in shock right now. We're into the quarterfinals with Wrexham. All right. Quarterfinals we go. Roma have the lead against Real Madrid, which is hilarious. They are just the giant killers. But we face Atletico Madrid here. First leg at home. All right, switching things up. We're at home for the first leg instead of heading away to Madrid. Can we lay the foundations to take to Madrid? We do. Lawal is going to give us the lead. 2-1. Lamine Yamal scores. Lawal's going to get the second goal. All right, 1 goal up as we head to Madrid. Do we have any suspensions though? We do not. Perfect. All right, we travel to Spain. Second leg with the advantage on our side, which is nice. Full strength starting 11. Lamine Yamal needs to step up though. Back in his home nation of Spain. For a spot in the final 4, we get there. Yamal does just that. Lawal with a yellow card though. I am praying he's not suspended, but our right back Norton Cuffy and our left winger Lamine Yamal fire us into the Champions League Final 4. Oh my God, we meet again. It is AS Roma. The team that took us out in the round of 16 last year is our semi-final opponent here in this season. This is massive. Lyon versus Paris in an all-French semi-final, but we need to take down the Italians. Lawal is good for this one. Traveling to Rome. Stadion Olympique. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground for us. First leg of the semi-finals. And we have a 1-1 draw. It is that man, Charles de Ketelaere, who broke our hearts last year, getting a goal there for Roma. Oh, now we need to head. This is feeling so eerily similar to last year. Get pumped, lads. Get pumped. This is big. This is massive. This is for a spot in a Champions League final. It feels so similar to last year. But we face Roma at home, a rainy Welsh night. Can we get the job done? We get the job done. Kusanov, the centre-back, is going to fire Wrexham into a Champions League final. We take down Roma, and we're heading to the big dance to face either Lyon or PSG. And here it is, the Champions League final against PSG. Bring it on. A look around the grounds. Chelsea win the Europa League. Liverpool win the Conference League. So we have to make it an all Premier League sweep through Europe. But we have absolutely bottled it. 6 points clear at the top of the league in January to now 10 points behind Manchester City. It was not a good second half of the season. And for the third straight year, we finished second in the Prem. Chelsea in 8th, Arsenal 7th. Relegated are Wolves, Burnley, and Ipswich. We do add a Community Shield to our trophy cabinet, though, winning that 3-1 at the start of the season. Crystal Palace take down Millwall in a South London FA Cup final. Look at that semi-final. Millwall, Peterborough, Hull City, and Crystal Palace. That's crook. And Liverpool win the Carabao Cup. Lamine Yamal was an absolute beast for us in his first year at Wrexham, though. 29 goals, 12 assists. I'm hoping it is only one season for him, though. I am hoping we can absolutely put PSG to the sword. Cole Campbell to a 93 overall. We have so many players at the 90 overall marker now. It is unbelievable. Lawal at a 91. I cannot wait for this Champions League final. Bring it on. The Theatre of Dreams is the venue where hopefully our dreams are going to be realized. Wrexham versus PSG. What a moment. Pedri, long shot, big block. Oh, it falls right back to them. Xerxes, save there. Okonkwo saw that late. Lamine Yamal. Look at Yamal. Gets a bit of space. Please be on side. He is. Cuts it through there. I didn't want to go there, but it goes to Campbell. Too much power. And he puts it past Donnarumma. All of my eyes were focused on going back to the penalty spot there. I wanted it to be harder, but I don't care. Campbell makes it easy. Donnarumma scrambling there. Gets a glove to it, but too much power. I'm surprised. I think that's the first headed goal I've scored all year. It's a nice time for us to score one. Bradley Barcola. Xerxes, don't let him get back. What a tackle, Archie Gray. Oh my God, too much space there. They get the shot. Okonkwo's been busy, man. Get it to Campbell. Good ball, Norton Cuffy. Get it in early. Jesus, put a bit on that. Oh, Yamal makes the tackle. Yamal sends Donnarumma the wrong way. Oh my God, this has been pure charity. I mean, we have been the better side in the second half, but I could see him take that a little wide, and I was like, I might be able to get this off him here. He just delays it. Yamal, what a finish. Donnarumma going the wrong way, and we have got 2 goals against the run of play. Footy this. Good footy. Riggs got some space now. I see that run. Oh, Lawal! Lawal's gonna finish it! Oh, all the luck is going our way today, lads. And you know what? I will take it. 3-0 up in a Champions League final. We're gonna get the job done. Oh, it is done. What a team we have built, fellas. What a rebuild. What a monster rebuild. I appreciate all of you guys that have got to this point of the video. What a journey we have been on. And we're going to deliver a Champions League title to the Welsh outfit. Okonkwo, the man that has been here since day one, wearing the captain's armband and officially confirming the Red Dragons as European champions. Ryan Reynolds, if you're watching this video, come. Even Rob McElhenney, if you guys are watching the video, hire your boy. Give me a job at Wrexham. I will get you a Champions League title. Lads, if you enjoyed this monster rebuild, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to check out another video.